it faces anyone is mad disrespectful. Like I found that quick because I put my leg up as we were just sitting down, and literally a guy just walked over to me and just slapped me. Boom.
Hello, chefs. This is Chef's PSA, and I'm your host, André Natera. My guest is Eduardo Osorio, the chef behind Meridian and one of the hottest names in Dallas right now. He's cooked everywhere from New York to Saudi Arabia, and he runs a kitchen with no yelling. We're getting into building culture, handling the spotlight, and cooking over live fire. Stay tuned.
Well, yeah, I mean, right now, my one of my sous chefs, like we've been together for like 14 years, actually.
Yeah.
He
This
just
is the guy that came with you everywhere, right?
yeah, he went with me everywhere. Like when I was in LA, I was going to Vegas, or like I was moving somewhere. Like he was always with me. And then it was like I brought him out here to Dallas. I told him like, hey, take care of this restaurant. I'm gonna go to Dallas, check this restaurant, and see what's gonna happen. See what's just for fun. I'm gonna go cook some food and do a tasting and see how it goes. And then yeah, we ended up getting the job. Well, I said we because I got the job. And I'm like, yo, bro, we're moving to Dallas. He said,
Package deal.
Yeah, pack your shit. We're leaving in 2 weeks. And then he said, for real? I was like, yeah, let's do it. And he's like, all right, let's go. And then he ended up just coming with me. Like we both, ended up fucking deciding leaving the restaurant out there. And then we came over here. And we kind of took it around, because we took over Meridian for about like 3 months before it shut down for renovation.
Yeah.
And then it took a little bit longer than expected because of permits and everything. And yeah, essentially, we waited that whole period that it was closed for like a year and a half, and then we reopened it. We went through all the struggles of opening a restaurant and rebranding everything, and doing tasting menus, because we were supposed to open like within 2 months. So we were working on that menu, then we're working on another menu. It was just a lot going on when we were opening the restaurant, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're 8 months in now with the restaurant, and he just decided, he didn't want to do this anymore. I think part of it
when you say he doesn't want to do this, what you mean? He doesn't want to cook, or he doesn't want to do this with you?
No, he doesn't want to cook.
He doesn't want to cook. He wants to leave the industry.
Yeah, because originally he had left the industry during the COVID time. He left the industry. He was like, "Yo, I'm done with it. I don't want to."
A lot of people did.
Which was crazy. It's like, you're inspired at first, and then at some point, like during COVID happened, everyone got uninspired. Everyone was disappointed with the industry, or they stopped working and they started realizing, like, man, like I work so much, I don't get to enjoy life, and they start to think all these things.
Well, what's wild is when COVID was happening, not only were you sitting on the couch thinking, man, I'm disposable. You know what I mean? Because if you were an employee, you got laid off or you got furloughed, or if you were an owner, you might have closed your shop. Right, your restaurant closed down, and you realize, like, man, all these awards don't keep the lights on.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. And then that's the biggest thing, where it's like you're always trying to stay relevant or always trying to do something new. But yeah, I mean, it sucks. It sucks. At that time, with COVID and all that happening, like it just it changed the industry for sure. I think the way people think. I think again, leading to one of my chefs, Rogelio, leaving. Was just the simple fact that he wanted to enjoy life a little bit more and like be able to do some other things than always being at the restaurant like 24/7.
Yeah. So what is he gonna do?
I think he's still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
He's always decided to want to go back to the medical field and then finish school. Mm-hmm. I know he started that, so he's always wanted to get back into it. So I kind of told him, like, all right, like let's get this restaurant set up, and then we'll figure out a way and where you could go to school in the morning or school at night, and then we'll take care of the rest. And we kind of just become like a tag team partner. We're like, yo, I'll do this morning, you do that, whatever. We always try to adjust our schedules to balance our life out a little bit better.
Yeah. I'll tell you, when I left cooking, so I left cooking in right after COVID, like 2022. And the things that helped me out as a chef, because when you're a chef, you understand leadership, you understand hustle, work ethic, like working a 15-hour day.
Yeah.
When you're a chef, it's like, it's not that it's easy, but it's not the end of the world. Like, sometimes you just got to do it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And so when I started like solo entrepreneur, I think that was an advantage that I had, because I realized, like, well, fuck it, I don't mind working hard. I could work all day. Like, I'll work all day on this book or whatever I happen to be working on, or podcast or whatever. So I realized, like, the chef hustle actually helped me in other endeavors outside of chefing, because you have this leadership, this ownership, like, and no one coming to save you. You got to do it yourself.
Oh yeah, 100%. I always tell, like, tell my kids, I'm like, yo, this is a lifestyle, because it's not just a job, it's a lifestyle, because you could take anything that you learn into the restaurant into the real world, you know? It's like, again, it's ambitions, is either moving fast or always trying to be better, you know? You could always take that into the real world and just use it for life in general.
There's advantages in being a chef that, you know, I know a lot of the conversation right now, like on social media, is like, oh, too many hours, or the industry is too much of a grind and it needs to balance out. And by the way, I'm not saying it doesn't, but what I am going to say is that sometimes those skills, when you transfer that hustle, that sense of urgency, that work ethic, that get it done, the calm under pressure, all the things that you learn in a kitchen, and you go work in other industries, you realize, oh, no one has it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, man, it's an advantage. You're so much more efficient. You're so much better on a team. You're so much faster. You're so much willing to go above whoever else is on your team in this other particular industry, that you realize, man, like you transfer your skills. They transfer very well in other industries.
Yeah, it's true. Again, you know, it's like anything you want to do. It's like, for example, like my dad was a chef before too. For Tony Roma's back in the days. So then he ended up
famous for ribs.
Yeah. So then he would always do barbecue ribs almost every Sunday.
Yeah.
But essentially he ended up like not wanting to do that anymore because he started working at a warehouse. But he's always had that ambition and always working. And it's like he always had that hunger and always like moving faster. What's the next best thing? Or like, how do I manage these two jobs? You know, it's always multitasking. I always saw. I mean, now I understand. It was like, man, he has the same skills as like I had or I have, right? As you know, always trying to be better, always trying to do more and take on more than we can take. But it's like, it's just like something that we like, you know, we crave to do more as well.
Yeah. Do you notice that a lot right now with young cooks coming into the industry, that they're asking for, I'm certain they are, because I see it on social media. I'm not an active chef, but I definitely talk to chefs all day.
Yeah.
But what do you see where you're at? Do you see them asking for more flexibility with schedules? What is it that they're asking for?
I would say, yeah, a little bit. There's a lot of people that want Sundays off now. I think a lot of people are like trying to spend time more with family on Sundays. I don't know if it's a religious thing or something, especially out here in Dallas. But I do feel like some people do request more days off now than what it was before.
Like they negotiate that up front before they take the job?
Yeah, 100%. Like, hey, there's going to be some dates and this and that. I'm like, honestly, I'm not the person to take a day off. So I'm just like, as long as I'm there and, you know, I have one other person, we'll figure the rest out. So I tell everyone, like, yo, that's fine. Just let me know, like, at least a month in advance, and you could have any day off. And we can figure it out. But I do notice that a lot more now, for sure. Everyone asks for, like, a better schedule when they need it.
Yeah, better work-life balance schedule, right?
Yeah.
And do you notice that people react to pressure? Obviously, I know they react to pressure differently, but what's the biggest difference of? Because I mean, you worked in some tough kitchens, some tough New York kitchens, right? You went through Danielle and system and all that, and I'm sure there was some pressure.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of pressure. I mean, you know, my first time stepping into Danielle was intense. You know, like you're setting up your station, you don't even know to pick like microgreens and any of that stuff. I just grabbed some, put it in my station. The chef walked up to me and he was like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, you think you're a chef? And I was like, oh shit, like my bad, I didn't know. And then like, no, you gotta peel them and clean them. Like, oh, there's always that tense pressure. Like, yo, this has to be better. It has to be perfect. Da-da-da. Like, yeah, definitely the restaurant it's intense, but for a good reason. You know what I mean? Everyone has a vision. Everyone has a goal, and honestly, it's fun. I love that.
Yeah. It's fun because some people, they thrive in that pressure. It gets them better, and they know like, hey, this is making me better because when it's my time at bat, I'm going to be better when it's my time to shine.
Yeah, for sure. Again, for me, like I wanted that. You know what I mean? Like when I was going there, I kind of expected that, but then when it actually happened, I was like, oh shit, like this isn't T-ball game anymore. This is real baseball. You know, like, all right. And the next day, I'm like, okay, get there earlier, get faster, start cleaning. I knew, do that first, so then he doesn't come back and make sure that this is wrong the next day too. You know, so it's always one of those things.
So after going from kitchens and working in kitchens in LA and Vegas and New York with Danielle, you saw some tough kitchens. But nowadays, the people that are coming into the kitchens, you can't work like that anymore, right? Especially in the age of everyone has social media. They expect more, like we're talking about the schedules. The expectations of the cooks are different. They expect you to be a better leader, a better communicator. They want what they want. And if you can't provide it, they could go somewhere else.
Oh,
You
yeah.
will provide it.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things, especially at Meridian, is like what I try to create now or in any restaurant that I go is the culture that we build in the restaurant. I think it's very important up front that we all get along. It's like, yo, if he's not the best cook, but he's able to get along with the rest of the team and brings like that to the table, I could work around that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's like we try to create the restaurant as a school anyway, so it's like you're starting Carmel. If he doesn't know that, but at least like, yo, you're gonna start paying attention here. When you work in this station, all I need you to do is pay attention and like do the job. You know, that's what you're gonna learn on this station, and then on another station you're gonna learn something else. You're gonna learn how to communicate, and you're gonna learn how to emulsify. And then once you pivot to that station, you learn that, then you pivot to another station. But then that's how you're gonna learn how to, you know, like now you know how to season things because he was already seasoning like in Garmo, pasta, emulsify, and now here you're building plates. You know what I mean? So that's how we transform it, and we build this good culture into the restaurant where it's like, I know what I'm getting, so I can't get mad at them if they don't know, because I'll get mad at myself because I'm the one that hired them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. Like we try to protect the culture that we built, and it just allows everyone to be a little bit more calm and not stressed out.
And how do they react?
Honestly, everyone's pretty surprised. Like, yo, you're never mad. You're never like upset. I'm like, you know, there's times that I am upset, but at the end of the day, it's like I know. You know, I think the biggest problem is balancing out the goals. Like, I know I want to be up here, but we're not there yet. Like, just knowing the simple fact that we're not gonna be like the best, like like right off the bat, and but at the same time having goals and moving up forward, I'm able to like kind of, you know, balance my mentality out to be able to not get stressed out. It's always checking myself first before, you know, I start checking on them, and then, you know, giving them more pressure, understanding what level of pressure each individual can handle.
30 years in the kitchen, 7 books, 200 podcast episodes, all distilled into a 5-minute daily leadership practice. It's called Lead Like a Chef. Most people who get promoted quit the industry within 2 years, not because they can't cook, but because no one taught them how to lead. I built an app that does. Lead Like a Chef. Take the free 2-minute quiz that tells you exactly where you stand. Go to studio.com/Andre. Link is in the show notes.
Sometimes I've noticed, like when I was chefing, I don't really get mad. Like I mean, I had my moments when I was younger. When I was younger, I didn't know how to control myself. But as I became a better chef, I became better at controlling my emotions. And now when I recognize, and this is, you know, this was a consulting gig or whatever, I'm just thinking it's fresh in my memory. But when I saw someone that's not performing on the stations, let's just say garde manger, and they can't keep up, and they're new, and I pull them off to the side and I talk to them at the end of the shift and during, hey, you know, maybe set your station up like this. It'll be more efficient if you work this way. Yeah. Right. Let me show you how to cut this way. Hey, this is how we do it here. Let me correct you. Hey, it's important that you count this. So after I go through all these corrections, it's one or two things. They're either going to follow what I say, or they're going to say some stupid shit like, well, I like it better this way. Yeah, that part. Right? And then you pull them off to the side and you have a conversation with them after the shift because service crashed or whatever. And then you see like, chef, I'm going to do better tomorrow. And they take it to heart and they're going to improve. Or they just like, meh.
Yeah, and they're just like, I don't know. Like,
and then that's why I know, well, then you can't work. Like, I don't got to be an asshole to you, but I'm still going to fire you.
Yeah, for sure. At the end of the day, like we are responsible for the restaurant, and we're responsible for everyone's success. And if they don't want to put part into it, you know what I mean? My biggest thing is like, I call everyone out as a group. Like we always have a post shift, and then that's where all the conversations happen. So it's kind of like everyone gets put on the spot. Like, hey, like you did this wrong today. You did this, but we talked about this. We're gonna fix this. So that's gonna be the main focus for tomorrow. And that's how we're always building, and everyone's always changing and listening. And then it's like, not only that, but I feel like that kind of helps me out as well, because it's like, it's not just me holding them accountable. Now it's the rest of the team, because, you know, we're trying to build them as chefs as well. Now it's them keeping them accountable for what we just talked about yesterday. And then everyone's like, oh, shit, okay. And then everyone's getting better like that.
Yeah, you could do, I used to do games where, like, we'd start with a point system. Like, let's say you start out at 10 points. Yeah. And every cook starts out at 10 points. And every cook could call out any other cook. So you didn't fold your towels, -1 point, right? Or hey, you didn't sear that fish right, -1 point. And so the cooks are looking to call out the other cooks to deduct a point. Whoever ended up at 0 had to clean the other person's station.
Oh,
so you
shit.
never wanted
Okay.
to get to 0 points. Everyone's like, nah, my shit's tight.
That's actually fun though. Yeah, that'd be great. I'm probably gonna do that.
But you make it a positive, fun game. But it's a positive, fun game for better habits.
Yeah, for sure.
With real life consequences. Like, hey, if the person with the worst habits has to, you got to clean up that station, or you got to throw away the trash tonight, or you get that job that no one wants to do.
Yeah, and honestly, that'll work really well for us because it's like everyone's always like, man, I don't want to throw the trash after a busy service. You got to clean your station, do this. Then they walk like almost a block away to go throw the trash. It's like, it's creative. I think it's great. I think, that's what we try to do. You know what I mean? I try to do that a lot and bring that energy into the restaurant, and it just helps us out and keeps everyone happy and positive.
Here's another one that I used to do, that because you have a big operation, not just with Meridian, but
with the other restaurants.
With the other restaurants too. One thing that I used to do when I had a bigger operation with multiple restaurants, I would have a blue team, red team that would audit the opposite kitchens.
Okay.
So like this kitchen does the inspection on that kitchen, and vice versa. Whoever got the highest score, and so it's like, hey, you missed points here because this shit's not labeled, or
now
your
you're
hierarchy.
always looking for things like, hey, let's go get this.
Right. And so they were always, the two kitchens were always competing with each other to be cleaner.
Yeah. That's good. That's fun. Yeah. I mean, I always appreciate some competition, especially everyone's like, oh yeah, we got to be the best, or we got to be better than them. It's always fun. It's friendly competition. It's positive.
We're all on the same team, but we got to get, it's like offense, defense, right?
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
It's good.
How was the transition from, because you worked in some big cities, but LA a long time, Vegas, New York, even though these are primary markets, I'm sure they all have different vibes.
Yeah.
So if we wanted to give a lesson for the cooks out there, like, hey, if you're going to work in LA, this is what you need to know. If you're working in Vegas, this is the vibe. If you're going to work in New York, this is the vibe. And if you're working in Saudi Arabia, this is the vibe.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I think every city is very different, right? I think the beauty of it, I was able to learn how everyone cooks, right? Because it's like the different cultures in every city is always different too.
Yeah.
So it's like when I was in Chicago too, even that's different. You know what I mean? So it's like, just understanding everyone's always different. I think that's one of the biggest things. Understanding not everyone is you. So if you're able to understand that, I think when you're working in LA, everyone's moving and grooving. Like LA is like a city, kind of like New York, where it's like you're just moving and grooving, and you're just you're ready to go. You're here to do your job. Depending where what restaurant you're working at, but it's always you're always moving at a fast pace because you got to go to your next job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Everyone has two jobs, right?
Yeah, everyone has two jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in both cities, right? It's more, New York and LA is very big like that, where it's all right, nonstop. You know what I mean? Again, it's just, that's what kind of helps. You're always moving fast, and you're always doing things. LA and New York is very similar in that sense, where I think just be ready to move fast and get on to the next task, because no one's here to, to hold your hand. It's you got to keep going.
Yeah.
They're ready to go for the next thing. That's what I've learned from both of the cities, and I think everyone's, aggressive in their own ways. But again, at the end of the day,
Aggressive because they're professionals and they expect you to know what you're doing, right?
Yeah, 100%. They expect you to know, okay, what? Yeah, exactly. If you're gonna put a hot pan, say hot pan when you put in the dishwasher, or remove your tape off of the container,
Right.
All those little aspects, because it slows them down. And again, at the end of the day, everyone's
Stack
trying
your
to move
pans
fast.
right.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Don't just go throw it and be a dick, and fucking be disrespectful to the dishwashers, because they take care of us. Especially in LA, you get your dishwashers where they come and hey, we made some mole. Here's some mole for everyone in the kitchen. We just had a party. Here's the rest of the food for you guys.
Yeah.
And that's why everyone always takes care of the dishwashers. But I was Vegas, I mean, high pace too, right?
Yeah.
High pace too, but at the end of the day, it's
Did you work in unions in Vegas?
yeah, well, where I was at, it wasn't. So it wasn't union.
Uh-huh.
So I was lucky because I didn't get to experience that. I know with Catch, at the end of the day, that was union. I was there for a little bit, but luckily not for too long, because at the end of the day, when I was working more in Vegas was for 50 Eggs for Yardbird and Chica.
Yeah.
That wasn't union. So that, thankfully, because I just heard a lot have stories too. It's you go and it's just too much.
I was just in Vegas, that. I was just in Vegas, and I have friends that are chefs out there. One of my friends is a chef of one of the big, I won't say which one of the big box casinos, and he was telling me that he has on average 100 to 150 call-offs a day. A day. 100 to 150 call-outs a day.
That's a lot. Yeah.
And because you got like 2,000 employees, right?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's like that. I mean, it's just tough. Like, I don't know. That's why for me, it's like Vegas just wasn't for me. It's like I knew I was there for a while, and I was like, all right, at least temporarily, like I was gonna go back to LA. So, yeah, Vegas isn't for me, especially with all the union stuff. It makes it more difficult as a chef, I would say.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit easier lifestyle for like a cook. But for the other side, as a chef, it's like, you're stuck figuring everything out,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's crazy in Vegas because you drive around, and this is only fresh in my mind, but I'm like driving down Las Vegas Boulevard, and I was thinking about this. Like, you see Bobby Flay's face, and you see Gordon Ramsay's face, and then you see another chef, just fill in the blank, a James Beard winner, whoever, right? They're like on billboards everywhere you go. And I'm thinking, from a social media standpoint, like if I post something on Chef's PSA, I could see how many people see it. Yeah. Right. So I'm going to see like, okay, this post today got me 50,000 eyeballs, right? I have to work for that. Yeah. These motherfuckers, that's a million people are seeing your face. They didn't even ask for it.
All right, cool.
Right?
Yeah,
it's like, man, whoever's got these Vegas deals, I mean, these Vegas licensing deals or man, it's like, I want one of those.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because at the end of it, like you said, like, their faces are there. You walk by, like, you recognize them. Or even, like, people that don't recognize them, like, who's that? And they'll just look it up. It's, like, easy marketing. It's
like,
damn, easy.
I want to see the Chef's PSA podcast on the billboard next to the UFC.
That would be great. Yeah, right there. You have that. Like, everyone's like, oh, shit, Chef's PSA.
Yeah.
But it's good. I think it's growing. I think it's great. And a lot of people always talk about it. I know, like, when I moved out here in Dallas, like, everyone was talking about it, too. Like, all the line cooks at Meridian, everybody was talking about it. So, it's like, it's great to be here. So, thank you.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love Meridian. Back when Junior was there, Junior's a good friend of mine. Here's a funny story. So I used to have another podcast before this one. It's called Run the Pass, but we did a series, 2 seasons.
Okay.
And I was there interviewing Junior when it was under construction.
Oh, yeah, with the whole village, right?
Yeah, with the whole village. Like, I remember touring the garden, and they're moving furniture into the apartments. It was wild. Yeah, it's a beautiful place. That restaurant's gorgeous, and then obviously everything around there is gorgeous. Before we get into that, though, I want to go back. What was Saudi Arabia like? Because you talked about Vegas, and what was Saudi like?
Saudi was a little difficult. Again, we were there for a big project. It was a little difficult because we needed a translator. We had to get another team from like the other country. Like it was a little bit difficult, I would say, because at the end of the day, like we were promised like a good location, and we ended up going to like Jeddah. So like that's like the historic area.
Yeah.
And then we ended up getting like a historic building. So historic buildings, you can't really do much to them. Like you can't fix the walls if they're broken down and things like that. So like that was the biggest thing. And then honestly, it was very difficult because it's 130 degrees, and then we didn't have a kitchen. So we were cooking out of essentially like a food truck. Essentially what it is, but it wasn't even a food truck. It was a box that they built into like a kitchen.
130 degrees.
Yeah, and literally like the only fan size was like this small. It was like this small on top of the hoods, and it was just like, dude, it was just really hot. It was just really hot. Like some of the stuff was even melting inside because it was just hot.
What was the culture like, kitchen wise? Like, who are you getting to work for you?
I had. Who was it? Let's see. So I had one Italian. How did we get him? I don't know. Somehow one of the prints set it up where like he was our translator. It was one of the one Italian chef. He ended up coming with us and helping us out to translate with the team because he's lived there for a few years now. So he was able to translate with them. And then he had a restaurant, and he closed his restaurant down to come and help us. So it was all his cooks. Essentially, nobody would speak English. So just like, we have to translate to him and try to help him guide and do all the recipes. So honestly, it was just more like, taste this, like try this. And then I would do the recipes myself, or just like, because we're opening a place for Catch, like a pop-up that we're doing there. And then it was difficult. I mean, there's no alcohol there. We would use sake for some things. We would use, like all these different ingredients. It was hard to source. So we had to adjust to some things, but at the end of the day, it was just the culture again. It was just being.
Did you like living there?
I wouldn't say it was living, but it was fun. It was a good experience. It's definitely an experience to talk about for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was an experience for sure. Like when we first landed there, it was everyone just like, hey, just kind of stay to yourself, They were going through Ramadan. I didn't even know, and I'm chewing gum. You're not even supposed to chew gum, and like I'm over here chewing gum, like. The chef next to me was chewing gum as well, and like the driver was pissed off. We're like, oh wow, like why is he mad? And then he was just like, you're not supposed to be eating anything or chewing anything, and I'm like, we're just like, oh, so we immediately take it off, and like now, like it's fine, like we were culture shock for sure.
Yeah.
It was very different, and at the end of the day, we learned real quick what to do and what not to do.
Yeah. What was that? What else couldn't you do? I'm curious.
I mean, another thing is like putting your foot, how we cross our feet and putting your feet up, like the bottom of your foot, it can't face anyone.
Yeah.
If it faces anyone, is mad disrespectful. Yeah. Like I found that quick because I put my leg up as we were just sitting down, and literally a guy just walked over to me and just slapped me. Boom, just slapped me. I was like, what the fuck?
Where did he slap you?
Like on my whole leg. Like literally, he just slapped my foot, my whole leg and my foot, just slapped it like real hard. And he's just like, I'm just looking at like, what the fuck just happened? I was, again, culture shock. I was just like, not knowing what was happening.
Did he say something to you, or did he just walk away?
He just walked away. So I didn't know what was going on, I was just like, oh shit. So then I look at somebody else and they're just looking at me and like, they're like, yo, don't worry about it. I said, all right. At this point, like I'm looking like, yo, should we go back to our rooms? Because, it was at that point, I think there was like some stuff going on, and it was just like, it a little bit dangerous to be there at that time, I would say. So then at the end of the day, somebody ended up telling me, like, they walked over and was like, hey, don't do that. Disrespectful. Then I just kept that in mind. And at the end of the day, like, the guy that would translate for us came to us, like the chef. He told me, he was like, oh yeah, don't do that. It's just, they find it disrespectful at the bottom of your feet because you're walking on it and it's dirty. And if it's facing someone, it's very disrespectful. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, now I know,
Wow.
Very different. I mean, I think at the end of the day, again, it's an experience. It's a different culture.
Yeah. I had a friend that used to work up there. He not in Saudi, but like in Dubai, and he would tell me that it didn't matter. Like you're getting ready to go home, and you get the call like, "Hey, the prince wants to eat now."
Oh yeah.
Like put on a whole buffet. Like all right, like you ain't going nowhere. And
100%.
There ain't shit you can do about it.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing. Is like again for us. When we're going to open the next day, because they said, oh, we're going to have the kitchen and build this, we're going to put a big fan and we're going to have this. And they didn't give that to us. We're like, yo, we're not opening tomorrow. Then we get a call from the prince. Yo, you got to open. We're like, well, we're not because we don't have this. Like,
you don't get it. It's like, you don't understand. You're opening tomorrow.
Like, you're opening. And then, we ended up opening.
Yeah.
But they compensated us. They gave us a nice paycheck, I would say.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But it was good. It was fun. It was an experience for sure. I think at the end of the day, I learned, again, more patience.
Would you go work over there again?
Probably not.
No?
I think not really. I think I was there for what, like 8 months? I was there for 8 months. Actually, it depends. If I actually had like a good restaurant, like it was in a different scenario, because I was able to go travel and see some other spots, which is extremely crazy and like it's very different. So it's like the Red Sea, right? So, but there's a lot of places that are built out like like imitation like beaches of Hawaii, from Singapore. Like there was different like little islands, but it's only specific for specific friends of the prince of who if you know someone you're in there, and then it's a different world. But again, it all depends if it's for the right reasons, and possibly but me necessarily by myself, like I'm gonna go live there, probably not.
I think it's cool. I mean, I've never been, but I've had friends that have worked over there, and they all say in a way like money's no object for a chef.
Yeah,
like you buy whatever you want. You're not limited by food cost.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, for sure. It's like, again, at the end of the day, it's an experience. I think if somebody gets an opportunity to do it, I think do it once, and it's a good story to tell every single time. It's always good to tell the story of what would happen and some things.
The moment you became sous chef, the rules changed. You can't drink with the crew anymore. You can't look the other way anymore. You can't be liked and respected at the same time. Caesar's not above the law, and neither are you. The Sous Chef Blueprint, the manual that nobody handed you when you got promoted. Get it at chefspsa.com.
What do you, so going back to Meridian and Dallas, so now that you're here, and by the way, I'll start out by saying this. Kent Rathbun, who's a legendary Dallas chef.
Yeah.
I saw him post something about you the other day. It's like he had one of the best meals he's had in a long time.
Yeah.
There with you. And I thought, man, for him to stop and do that, I thought, man, that's like big props from Kent. He doesn't do that for just anybody.
No, I know, and that's what I was told too, you know. So I'm like, I felt special. I was like, oh shit, you know, like damn, you know, like, you know, I'm not an ego chef. Like I try to be like, yo, we're just cooking food, you know, like we're just like be very humble. But we're, you know, when he posted that, like shout out to him. So thank you, right? Where it's like literally it brought in a lot of people. Like the flow of people like, oh, we came because we saw a chef post it. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, you know, I started to realize like, man, he has a big influence.
Kent's Dallas. He's Dallas royalty, man.
It's crazy. Like, and he was a funny story. He was actually just there 2 days ago.
Yeah.
He was just there, and yeah, it's just great. Honestly, like we had met a couple times already before, but this was the first time he had dined into the restaurant. And he just enjoyed everything. It was really fun. He was playful. And he just decided to give us a shout out. So
he was, I think, him and his brother. So he has a brother also that's a chef.
Yeah.
And I want to say they went on Iron Chef. I don't know if they won or if they. Anyway, but I think they went on Iron Chef and beat Bobby Flay back in the day, Iron Chef America. But I remember it was like legendary. They're like carrying big sides of meat, and they're big boys.
Yeah,
they're big boys. I mean, he was like Dallas back in the day is like Kent, Steven, Dean. It's like that's it. Like, and then there's everyone else.
Yeah.
You know, but like Kent's one of those. You know,
yeah, and it's crazy now. You know, being in Dallas and like, you know, I understand that now and I see it, and because it was like, you know. Like I had people coming like, yo, Dean Farron's here, like, yo, Steven Biles here, and I'm like, yeah, you know, chef is here, you know. I'm like, okay, because I had already met them and they were just so humble and cool, you know, like, you know, I was just like, all right, cool, you know. Everyone's like, man, this is crazy, like they never really go out to eat or they never really go out to places, and they, you know, but I quickly saw like, I'm like, everyone really respects each other. In that sense, like, yo, that they were the OGs in Dallas for a while, and you know.
Yeah, I mean the community in Dallas. I mean, there's a lot of OGs. Matt McAllister's another. He's not. Him and John Tizar. I think we're the next. You know,
yeah, like the next generation.
So it was like the first generation of Dallas chefs was like I said, it was Dean, it was Kent, and it was Steven. They were like the first one. The second generation that started coming in up after them, at their heels, it was like Bruno, me, Matt, John, Omar, like, and then Tiffany also. Like we were the next generation to come up after, and then after us, you had the next ones coming up after us, and then I would say like you're now like the fourth.
Generation,
the fourth generation of chefs. So it's great to see. I like Dallas. I like the Dallas food scene when I was there. When I go back now, you know, Austin and Dallas are two very different food scenes. Like Austin's casual dining rooms, you know, whimsical food. What I like about Dallas is it's a little bit more luxury. It's posh. It's, you know, you got bigger wine glasses. You know, you got bigger steaks. It's just a little bit more fashionable. But what are you trying to do with Meridian? Like, what is it that you set out to do? What attracted you to it? What's your goal with it? And then how close are you to delivering to what you want?
Well, honestly, what attracted to me was just the simple fact it was a beautiful kitchen. I think it was open. It was something I've been trying to do again. And what I mean again is like when I started cooking, I started working at a restaurant in Marina Del Rey, which was like modern French techniques and a little bit of Mediterranean. So we were able to do a lot of seafood. I personally love seafood myself, so I like working with different fish, anything seafood related. I love working with. So that was kind of my vision, you know, a little bit of that, but focusing on live fire cooking. Yeah, I think that's one of like my biggest things that I want to do right now is just like literally just bring the community together in Dallas. I think as we see now, right, with Michelin coming in, like new chefs coming into the city, it's just being more welcoming with everyone and just trying to break like old habits. You know, sometimes there's old habits that are around the cities. At the end of the day, that's what I just want to create a community where chefs are working together and collabing together. And I think it's you know, you're starting to see a lot of that.
Well, you've done good with it. I mean, I saw you had RJ there. You had Gabe there recently. I'm trying to think who else I saw you. Did you have Peja there?
Yeah, Peja, David, Uger, and Bilal, and then right now I still have like a good like 6 more people coming up right now.
How do you do the guest chef dinners? What's the
One, I always try to not
is
make
it a collab, like true collab, like you guys are working on the menu together? Is it like course for course? How does it go?
So every event is different. I would say like every dinner series is different. So I try to make sure that the experiences are not completely different, but because we have a couple guests that always book every event, so I want to make sure that they experience something different. So I change it up, like even like say like with Gabriel, right? Like we ended up doing more like a la carte menu, I would say, and then just more bites in that sense. Yeah, I always jump on a call with them. I call them or we meet if they have time to meet up. We'll meet at Meridian. We'll get some coffee, but we're always bouncing ideas.
Yeah,
for sure. I think like with RJ as well. Like we just spent literally like 2 weeks just nonstop, just texting back, talking back, and discussing the menu and always working together. Either with him, it was all collaborative, the whole menu all the way through. We wanted to show what we could do or what we've done, like from California, and use like California produce as well. And with David from Lucia, with him, it was honestly, he kind of took me under his wing. He was like, "Yo, let me show you like some things that I do and like what works well," because he was one of like the first ones that really like. Where I felt like I was keeping it a little bit too tight or comfortable. It was like a little bit not, not far out thinking, I would say. And like, no, we should do something creative. This is the opportunity to do this. I feel like, I always try to play respect to the city and itself and understand the diners. So I always try to play it a little bit safe until I gain their trust that, that we can make good food.
Yeah.
Then I don't want to scare people away, right? We're in the middle of like, bringing back Meridian back to the scene, right? So it was like with David, he was like, "No, let's do some blood sausage." I was like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "All right, let's do this," And then again, like that dinner, I went to Lucia as well and just spent some time with him. He showed me around his restaurant and he just gave me his history about his restaurant.
Great restaurant.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then he just gave me he just helped me build like what we were doing with the pastas, like we're tasting everything together. Again, every chef is a little bit different, but we do sometimes either we'll collab the whole menu or he does one bite, I do one bite, and this and that. And right now the next one coming up is more Vietnamese cuisine. That's more driven on their stuff and with Joshua and Brenda. So then essentially with them, I'm working on just adding like a little bit of my flair into it, like adding some smoke and using our hearts a little bit more. Yeah. But I want to stay true to what they're trying to build as well.
Where are you drawing inspiration from now? Like when you're writing menus for Meridian, are you pulling from outside of the Meridian walls? And what I mean by that is like Meridian has an identity of what it is.
Yeah.
Do you say no, we're going to color here? Or do you color way outside the lines and bring in new ideas?
Oh no, I bring in new ideas for sure. I think at the end of the day is like we stay with what Meridian was, right? Where it's always a chef-driven restaurant, and I think it was always great food, right? So I think we stay along those lines. I think right now I just focus more on live fire cooking, and just making sure that everything builds on flavors on that, whether it's a little bit light smoke or it's building like deep color notes and just things like that. But for now, I think I want Meridian to be a little bit more creative, but again, I feel like learning from each city, like opening in different restaurants, I always try to understand what the guest wants first. Yeah. So I didn't want to come in again. It's not about egos. It's not about me, and essentially in a way. So it's just like I wanted to see what was missing in Dallas. So what was a little bit different.
Yeah. What was missing?
And in my opinion, I think it just needed a little bit more fun, comfortable dishes that people still recognize. And by that, I mean, it's like our cabbage dish in a sense. Yeah. Kind of plays that way as well. That or our cornbread. Like a cabbage, what we do is literally simple. It's really, really simple, but it just tastes really great. And it's just been one of our popular dishes right now. That's why I bring it up, because like what we do is just literally covered in foil. Like we season it with a little bit of olive oil and brown butter and salt and pepper, and then we cover it in foil and we throw it in the hearth for 2 hours and just like rotate it here and there. Like about every 20 minutes we rotate it, and it just like braises it really soft and like gets it nice and tender. Obviously, we're always checking like the consistency of it. Like if one's bigger, one's smaller, we check the time. But it's roughly around an hour 45 to 2 hours that we leave it in the hearth, like nice and roasted when we're starting the fire. So it gets all these deep flavors, and then with it we just do a whipped tahini with a little bit of like a calamansi syrup that we make in house as well, and a chili crunch, just poured right on top with some crispy garlic and shallots and some fresh cilantro and pickled onions.
That sounds good.
It's simple, but it's a little bit. Well, I guess there's obviously technique into it, and there's like flavor development. But it's a cabbage at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's a cabbage, and when people come, like, man, I never thought the cabbage would be this good.
Yeah. No, it's. I don't know, man. Like I think about vegetables. Cuisine is so wonderful. I like when you think about cuisine. It's so complex. Like you could be really good at cooking meat, and that's a science in itself. Like to get the perfect end-to-end medium, the lamb rack's roasted and rested perfectly, or the pork rack or a steak, and it's end-to-end medium rare. It's not too raw in the middle, or to roast a rabbit correctly, or to braise something. And then you think about like, okay, that's you can get really good at that, but then there's sauce work and development, right? You get really good at that. Like how do you roast the bones? Do you blanch them? Like you geek out on that. And then there's vegetable work. I sometimes feel like vegetable work gets neglected.
Yeah.
But man, like vegetable work it's not just, most people just like saute it in a pan, blanch it, saute it in a pan, or blanch it, throw it on the grill. It's like, no, you could do so much more. You braise the vegetables. You could make barrel, you could smoke them. You could, like you said, roast it in the hearth.
Yeah,
develop flavor, brine them.
I think that's the beauty that we're tapping into right now. Like, okay, what's gonna be the next vegetable that we're gonna use, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, obviously summer's here already, but I'm like, man, we need to change some of the stuff, right? But it's like, again, in the middle of, like, you know, that we were talking about Meridian, like what I want it to be is like, I want people to feel comfortable coming into Meridian, and not always changing. Like, I mean, we want it to change, but we don't want them to feel like, man, why is it always changing?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think that's the biggest thing. Like right now, I would like to change it a little bit more frequently, but there's still a lot of guests that haven't even been to Meridian, and it's their first time coming in, you know, and it's just like, and then they're seeing posts about like a cornbread or mushrooms, and like, yo, we came for that, and it's like, man, well, I don't have that anymore.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I read that like cornbread's your signature now or something.
Yeah, that one became like signature real quick. Like honestly,
how do you make it? I mean, can you share how you make it?
Yeah, honestly, it's very simple. We use Sea Island cornmeal grits. Or cornmeal, sorry.
Yeah.
We use that with a little bit of white cheddar. We smoke and grill shishito peppers as well on the hearth. And then we'll just dice them up and throw them into the mix. Obviously, brown butter is kind of the secret of what we use. And on the measurement and how we cook it, we obviously, with the rationale, we're able to use some steam into it that gives it this nice moisture. And then when we end up baking it at the end to it, I kind of like reheat it and bring it back to life. It gets nice and crispy as well when we throw it in the oven.
What do you serve it with?
We ended up just putting a little bit of brown butter. We do spice honey. And again, with butter on top as well, but the secret is brown butter.
Yeah,
I would say brown butter is just gold. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
like,
fucking amazing.
People's always ask,
you stir your brown butter when you make it. Do you stir it? Or you let it sit?
I let it sit, and we also add some milk powder.
Yeah, to get more of the solids.
Yeah, get some of that and get some more nutty flavors into it, and then.
That's a good tip. A lot of people don't think about. Like if you're making brown butter, throw some extra milk powder in there.
Throw some milk powder, and it just gives it a lot more, more nuttiness, more flavor into it. And again, that's my biggest secret, to be honest. It just makes it taste better. It keeps it moist, but at the same time, like it's crispy because we pop it in the oven and get a nice texture around it. And then we put some foie on it. I mean, I think at the end of the day, the first time I tried foie, it was legal in California, but then it became illegal. So it's like I didn't get much of foie, and only when I was in New York, like when I was working at Daniel, I was able to eat foie there and taste some foie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I remember, like, man, let me try foie with this one time. And I tried it. I'm like, man, fuck, this is good. I'm like, all right, because I ended up doing it for a charity event. I think it was for Mercy Chefs, actually. It was a dinner for Mercy Chefs when they were raising money for the fires in LA.
Yeah. I
ended up just doing it just for fun, and people just really fell in love with it. And I think somebody wrote about it, and yeah, it was just kind of like, all right, let's try it out. Let's see how it works. I'm like, let's see if people like it or not. And then, fuck, honestly, it just blew up. And it was the number one seller, and it still kind of is the number one seller besides our lamb belly, too.
Yeah, the food critics in Dallas seem to be gravitating towards you, huh?
Yeah, honestly. At first, again, I didn't have really a home because Meridian was closed. So I was here in Dallas for like a year before, and it was just like, You know, I'm just trying to get into the scene, trying to talk to chefs. And, you know, at first, like, you know, it was a little bit tough to get into some circles and, like, talking to people. But then now that we have a restaurant, that's what kind of started, like, the whole series where it's like, all right, I have a home now. Let me bring some of my friends, like, into the restaurant so we can actually start cooking. And,
Are you going to bring some California chefs and some New York chefs too?
Yeah, we're working on that. I mean, we have some people lined up, but we're figuring out the dates. But yeah, we're trying to bring out some good chefs from LA, from New York as well. And I have someone from Chicago coming out. And then one of my friends actually hooked me up with someone as well. Again, it's like an opportunity to learn, and I, not just for my team, but for myself as well, and learn, like, you know, networking. And it's one of my biggest things. Like, I always love talking to new chefs, new people, meeting people, and just being welcoming. You know what I mean?
What do you think about? We're talking about food critics, but what do you think about, like, influencers? How do you see the relationship between influencers and food critics affecting? I mean, do you like it? Do you dislike it? Is it part of the game?
Honestly, it could be positive, but it could also be negative. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I think we do really good food and we do it well. But then we do have a lot of influencers, right?
Man, sometimes people the problem with influencers sometimes is bad reviews go more viral than good reviews.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fucked up.
And it is, it is fucked up.
Because they're playing the game. Like, we can't forget that a lot of these influencers are also playing the game.
Yeah.
They need views to keep people on their page. And if they start noticing, like, hey, I did a bad review and it got 1 million reviews, and I did a good review and it got 50,000, I'll just do another bad review because that's what people want to see. Yeah. But it hurts the restaurant. Like, they're not understanding, like, hey, that bad review that you're doing just for clicks, just for social clout, like, it's hurting someone's business, someone's livelihood.
Sure, 100%.
I mean, you remember back in the day, like, rap groups smacking up writers.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Dre.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Pushing someone down the stairs or whatever it was, busted into the writer's studio.
No, but yeah, it's true. You know, at the end of the day, like, it's true because, again, it could help the restaurant. I think, even if it's positive, I think now, even if it's too much positive, like, people be like, I don't know, that kind of seems like it's fake. Like, it's not great. You know what I mean? It could affect the restaurant in that sense as well.
I think a balanced review is fair.
Yeah.
I like this. I didn't like this. You should come check it out.
And
Let me know what you think.
I think we should see more of that, to be honest. Yeah, balance where they're like, yeah, this is good, this is that. Because it's, you know, it's just their opinion at the end of the day. But still, I think it's a little bit more true in a sense. You know, than saying, like, oh, yeah, this was great. And then that's it. Like,
So I'm not a food influencer. I'm only going to post food that's good. Like if I don't like it, I'm just not going to post it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I'm not trying to out there hurt any chef's business. You know, with my following or whatever, it's like, if I like it, I'm gonna say, like, hey, these guys took care of me. It's great. Go eat there.
Yeah, for sure.
But if I don't like it, it's like,
no harm done. Like,
like, I'm not trying to hurt your business.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you'll get better. Maybe I'll give you some feedback offline, or if they want it. Maybe they don't even want it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest part too. You know, sometimes like, so how was it? You know, I'm like, you know, sometimes, like, when I go out to eat at other places, like in different cities as well, it's like the same thing. I'm like, yo, chef, how was it? Was it good? I'm like, yeah, it was good, you know. And then later on, I'm like, yo, you know what? This wasn't great, and this and that. And they're like, well, you said it was good earlier. Like, what changed? I'm like, well, you know, I wasn't. There was people around. I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful. You know what I mean? So it's like, you asked me, so I told you. But I mean, I think, it's just finding the balance.
Yeah, and a lot of chefs aren't open to the feedback. You know,
I am, though. I be telling people, like, bro, don't lie to me. Like, we need to get better. You know what I mean? I think that's the biggest thing. Like, at the end of the day, that's how we get better. I think for me, it's like, you know, I wake up every day and I look at reviews. I don't look at it to see, like, to get my feelings hurt, but there's also sometimes out of the 10 reviews, there's probably one review that, oh, shit, okay, let me take that into consideration, right? Yeah. Like, when we opened up Meridian, I was doing this, like, confit peppercorn crust on it, and I kind of like peppercorn, so I went a little heavy on it, and I was like, oh, that's fine, I like to see it like that. And I saw a review, and then, like, another review came that it was a little bit too crusty, and I'm like, okay, maybe people don't like it like that. And then change it up, and ever since then, it hasn't been a problem.
Well, it's funny because, like, if I go eat at a friend's restaurant or a restaurant, if I don't like it, I have to be able to filter out, like, this is my opinion. I don't like it because I don't like bell peppers, so I'm going to tell them it sucks because it has bell peppers. Like, that's my opinion. Yeah. It's not that the dish is bad. So there's no sense to feedback. But then there's also, like, do you want my feedback? If you want my feedback, I'll give you a very detailed, line by line, hey, this is misspelled, and the font is too small here, and by the way, that person forgot to pick up the fork when it fell on the floor. I'll give you a detailed feedback. Or do you want me to just say it's good? It's good. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
You gotta know who you're.
Like, you gotta learn like who you're talking to, right? It's kind of like the cooks too, right? When you want them to change some way, you gotta talk to him differently than the way you could talk to this guy, than the way you could talk to this guy. So it's always the same thing. Like, even as chefs, again, some chefs don't want to hear it on, some do. So
because there's also the part where, look, I didn't ask you for feedback.
Yeah,
you don't know what I'm trying to accomplish. Like, I want it that way, right? Because some chefs are like, no, that's what you didn't like. That's exactly what I'm trying to do with that, because someone else likes it or because I like it. Or
that's true. Again, there's a lot of like sauce works that are different and different views. You know what I mean? Like for me, like I don't know, I could do like say a simple sauce like a chimichurri. For me, it's like okay, I like it more acidic. Maybe somebody just wants it more herby.
Right.
It's just like it's like a lot of little details that people seem to like differently.
There's also familiarity with your palate, because I remember when I first got introduced to like really acidic food, I didn't like it. Now, by the way, I do like acidic food with my Mexican food. I don't mind like some lime on here, but when I was tasting it with like a different cuisine, that it didn't feel appropriate. Like, oh, there's this pickle this and a pickle that. I was like, I don't like it. Like, it didn't taste right to me. It's like I don't want that food to be so acidic and so fermented for that style of food. But then as my palate developed, I even found myself cooking that way. Yeah. Because now I'm putting all this acidic stuff on there. It's like, man, I didn't like it at first when I had it. And now I'm doing a lot of the same thing that I didn't like. And then I'm wondering for people that are eating in the restaurant, like, maybe they're not where my palate is.
Yeah.
Because I had to grow to like it.
And I think that's the biggest thing too, right? Where like, again, just kind of going back to that question, like, what do I want Meridian to be? And do I feel like it's there? I don't think it's there. It's like, it's nowhere near where I want it to be at. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're doing good food, but it's also educating, right? Like educating the guests as well, how we want to eat. Like, how do we get them to eat the food that I want to create? You know what I mean? So again, it's, for me, I'm starting off with a slow base. It's like, starting off small with things that they recognize. And then they recognize it and do it well for a while before they trust us. And then once they start trusting us, then we implement something new. It's like, we threw in like fermented mushrooms into it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, okay, now they're trusting that a little bit more until we're able to build.
You're putting training wheels on and taking them where you need to go. I get that because there's two sides to it. One is you're training the customer for things that they're not familiar with. The regulars and the people that go to your restaurant, and then there's the Dallas dining scene, which are you Park Cities? Is that where Meridian is considered?
Yeah, I would say yeah.
But then on the other side, you're also training cooks who aren't familiar with those. They might not be familiar with fermentation. Yeah. Like they don't know how to cook like that yet either.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. I think that's why, like, a lot of people say like, oh, well, the Dallas scene, like, it should have more of this, and that. But it's like at the same time, if the diners aren't there yet, then it's like, some of the chefs aren't there yet, or even the cooks aren't there yet.
If the diners wanted it, would be there.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, like, we're also learning to get there at some point. I think it's gonna get there at some point, but at the end of the day, we're educating like the art team, the front of house team, the service team. You know what I mean? Everybody like that's coming into the restaurant. Yeah,
everyone's raising their level little by little. With Michelin there now, I mean, do you have Michelin aspirations? Like, are you trying for it, or if you get it, you get it?
If we get it, we get it. But then, not really. We're not really trying for it. I mean, we talk to the team. I always talk to my team like, what are your goals? What do you want in life? Trying to figure out what they want, and that way, because I think the biggest thing, if we're all shooting for different directions, we're never gonna fucking meet where we want to be. So I just say like, we just want to cook really good food out here. That's the biggest goal what we want right now. Mm-hmm. And then like the rest will follow. I think right now our main goal is making sure that the guest is happy with the food, and then the rest will follow, and we'll see where it goes.
So I want to ask you, because right now, for people that don't know the Dallas dining scene, and even all the way, I don't live in Dallas, I live in Austin, but you're hot right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people are talking about you're in the magazines, you're in the social media, everyone wants to do a dinner with you, you're on the Big Chef podcast, but how does it feel to all of a sudden, I don't want to say all of a sudden get hot, but like, man, now it's different. Do you feel pressure?
Not necessarily pressure. Well, actually, that's bullshit. There's always pressure, right? I think there's always pressure. I do feel pressure, but the beauty of this, in my lens and the way I see it, is like, again, being in LA where Michelin wasn't there, I was a cook, and then when they were coming, I was a cook, and then I had just became a sous chef at a restaurant, right? And I started to see the city change. I started to see the dining scene change in LA, and again, I tell people every time as well. It's like, yo, I feel like it took LA 10 years to get to where it was at, like with the dining scene, which I think it'll take Dallas like 3 to 4 years, right? Because now we have social media, now we have like all these other things where people get inspiration from, and you know, all these things. So, kind of learning what I've seen like before, it's kind of interesting and it's fun, and honestly, it makes me feel good because at the end of the day, it's like, damn, now I'm in the circle again, where it's like, damn, we're seeing the city change and our industry change, and it's getting better. But now it's different. I'm not a cook. I'm actually fucking like the chef and one of the ones leading it. So yes, there's pressure to it. But at the end of the day, I think it's just making sure that everything tastes great.
Yeah. But do you feel pressure? Not with that, but more so with the attention that you're getting, like the constant people wanting to talk to you, and now you got friends that you didn't know you had, and you know what I mean. Like when you have a shine, everyone wants a little bit of it.
I'm figuring it out. It is a lot of pressure for sure. I think, you know, also the kind of person that I am, I don't want to come off disrespectful or rude to people. Yeah. I think it becomes, it is stressful in that sense, where it's like, I don't have time to respond to everyone. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or sometimes it just passes my brain. Again, at the end of the day, it's like we're running Meridian, but we're also running the other restaurants in there. Yeah. And then plus the stuff back home at LA with the Marathon Burger. So it's just like, you know, there's always something happening. And yes, I think it's stressful and it's pressure, but in this industry, you got to be crazy and you got to love pressure, and I think it makes me thrive better at it. So yeah, I enjoy it.
By the way, we didn't touch on it. So you also have Marathon Burger in LA. Can you tell people what's that? What's your responsibility with the Marathon Burger?
So essentially, like, I developed the recipes and like the menu for them, and then like any opening that they have, like kind of just make sure that everything's aligned, that the recipes are still the same, taste and everything. And just making sure it's all aligned.
It's like a smash burger?
Yeah, it's a smash burger. So essentially it's very simple, traditional in a sense, but it's also different. So we use Wagyu beef, a little bit of... The true classic one is just a little bit of mustard and ketchup in the bottom. We have a secret hot sauce that we put on top as well. And then we caramelize some onions and just a brioche bun. Like, it's simple, but it's just at the end, it's our seasoning that we use, that we make the in-house seasoning, and our sauce on top, like the secret sauce. Yeah. At the end of the day, it all kind of just started with, what was it? That collab that was for the SpongeBob one, where it's just like, you know, we've always talked about opening a restaurant or doing something with food, because I would always cook for like Nip and his family, and then at the end of the day, they just called me like, yo, we have this project, let's do this. And it's like, okay, cool. You know, Meridian was closed at the time, so I just flew back to LA and we just started working on it. And I think, what was it, like 2 days? In 2 days, we had a burger. And then from there, it just kind of grew from there.
Wow. Yeah. And how many of them are there now? Is it one, or is there multiple locations?
No, there's multiple. So see, there's the one in Melrose, Venice. There's going to be a couple more opening up as well. And there's like a food truck that kind of goes around the city as well. Yeah. So right now...
You're going to bring one to Texas?
And there's one in Long Beach. There's talks about bringing one to Dallas. Yeah. So there's possibly one's going to come out here as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. I can't wait.
Again, it's all just little projects that we're working on. I know the next one is the Marathon Taco as well that's coming up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's that going to be like?
That's... essentially it's like a little version, I mean, not a different version of tacos in a sense, but it'll be approachable, simple. Again, at the end of the day, the model that we're trying to keep is just like fast paced as well, but like really great tacos done well. Yeah. And just like a secret like spice and seasoning that we're using for the meat.
So how do you balance your time between burger concepts, taco concepts, culinary director, guest chef dinners? How many restaurants do you oversee right now?
I'm trying to think, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably like 10, honestly. Like 10, even more, I would say. But at the Village, it's what? Like 6? But we're about to open up another restaurant as well in there, so that'll be fun. with the Marathon Burgers as well. And at the end of the day, right now I put in pause, but I had like my private catering, like that stuff that I do as well. I do it like 3 times a year now, but it's just like just to keep like some of my like guests that I do on a regular basis. But it's stressful. It's a lot for sure. I think at the end
you
of
work
the day,
every day, 7 days a week.
always at some point, yeah.
Yeah,
For the most part,
even if it's just 30 minutes of work, you're still working every day.
Yeah, 100%. There's always something to do. I mean, I think right now I'm trying to get it where like the dinner series that we're doing it, and I was like, okay, you know what? Let's start doing it Mondays, Tuesdays too. Like, dude, why did I do it? I didn't have I wouldn't even sleep.
Yeah.
So it's just like, but now they're shifting to like Wednesdays, like Tuesday, Wednesdays, where I for sure at least have Monday off to take for myself.
What do you do for yourself? Like, what do you do to take care of yourself and keep yourself balanced?
Spend time with my family.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's the biggest thing that just.
What do you guys like to do?
Honestly, just hang out.
Yeah.
I think right now we're just hanging out, finding little projects. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm off, but it's like right now I've been trying to paint my kid's room for like past 3 weeks, and I still haven't done it. I have everything, but I just haven't gotten to it. Just things like that. I think just hang out, and honestly, we try to go out to eat. As a family, we go somewhere small, somewhere simple, and just hitting the movies.
Yeah. Yeah. You see anything good lately?
Toy Story 5.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Chef, when we wrap up, we get some very important questions here. In your kitchen, is it a blue tape or a green tape or a yellow tape kitchen?
It's a green tape.
Green tape.
Yeah, green tape.
Yeah, all the time?
Yes. Right now, yeah. It's only green tape right now.
You use scissors, tape cutters? What do you do?
We have tape cutters and scissors.
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
What's your all-purpose salt in here? Is it diamond crystal? Is it Morton's or is it something
Diamond
else?
crystals.
Diamond crystal, yeah.
That's what we like to use.
Do you use a finishing salt that you like?
Florida Cell.
Fleur de sel?
Yeah.
What about a finishing acid?
Oof. Depends what it's for.
But in general, like if there's one that you grab more often than the others.
I mean, definitely sherry.
Yeah.
Sherry vinegar.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is a Danielle thing, right?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Sherry vinegar, honestly, just goes a long ways. Like, especially for me, I love using it with spinach and mushrooms. Like, it just tastes fucking good.
Yeah, I like sherry vinegar. I like sherry vinegar a lot. Lemon. Sherry vinegar is underrated. Like,
Yeah, it's simple, but it's like it's really good. Like it adds a different tone to it. It's like a little sweet, but it's still like sour. And like it's good. I love it.
Sometimes you see certain chefs are like, "Oh, I use champagne vinegar." You could okay, I know what restaurants you worked at.
Yeah,
you know what I use sherry. Okay, I know. You know.
you know the lineage where it comes from.
Yeah. Or Banyals. Okay, I know who you work for. What about? Is there something that you feel that you do in your kitchen that brings a lot of flavor? Or a technique that you do that makes food just a little bit more interesting that other people could implement right away that they could learn from?
Honestly, as far as like bringing up flavors, for sure, I think is the important part is season every step of the way. I think a lot of people think that means just salt. Mm-hmm. But it's like also, like using different peppercorns. I like using white peppercorn, green peppercorn. Mm-hmm. In that sense, like I would say explore like that as well. And again, just developing flavors off the bat. Like if you're starting off bat, like not seasoning something, I think that's obviously kind of like a red flag. Mm-hmm. And yeah, every step of the way, just finish seasoning things. I think it's kind of what we do. We always taste it and we're always like, okay, well, how can I get better? I'm like, all right, add this or add a little bit more acid. Again, it's just like developing flavors all the way through, but seasoning all the way through and tasting everything all the way through.
And then last question. Actually, 2 more questions. In your kitchen, is it yes, chef? Is it heard? Is it we, chef? What do you guys say?
Right now, we say we, chef.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's just kind of ingrained with everyone. We say we, chef, but the best one, what we actually say is yum yums.
What is that?
So yum yums, like I don't know if you've seen one of the videos on my page, but so essentially they always come and give us compliments, or they always come like, yo, chef, like you're amazing, you're good. At the end of the day, it's like, yeah, it makes me feel good, but I want to make sure my team feels great. So we say yum yum. So when they tell me, I say, chef, yum yums. And you hear the whole kitchen go, yum yums. And they're celebrating. And everyone like turns around like, oh, like, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's because everyone, someone just said that it was the best meal that they had. And the team says yum yums together. And it's just like one of the things that we run in the kitchen.
That's a good psychological trick, by the way, because now the guests are hearing it and then they want to tell you so they could hear them say it again.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, and then you'll see someone walk up and then someone's like really interested in looking, and then I'm like, yo, you want a kitchen tour? Like, you want to see? And they're just like, what? Like, for real? And they're just like, they become a kid and they're just walking around the kitchen. And I just kind of walk them through every station, like what like Chef Andrew's doing, what Chef EJ's doing, you know, what the other chefs are doing as well. And it's just kind of like just looking at everything. And they just see everything from a different perspective. And just like, holy shit, like this is organized, it's clean, and they're able to see it. It's an open kitchen, but being inside the kitchen is always different too.
Yeah, nice. You got a beautiful kitchen too. If you have Mount Rushmore of chefs, like your 4 chefs that you think should be there, who should they be?
As far as what do you mean?
So like the 4 greatest chefs of all time.
Ooh. Honestly, my 2 favorites are from LA, obviously because I'm from LA, but Michael Cimaruzzi and Josiah Citron.
Yep.
I think they're amazing chefs. Like those were always chefs I always looked up to.
Those were the top dogs
in LA.
In
LA for sure. You know what I mean? Like you knew their kitchens were always like fucking cranking. They were doing dope shit. And obviously that Danielle's a really awesome chef too. I think a lot of people don't see that. You know, he spends a lot of time like at Restaurant Danielle. Like that restaurant is essentially it's a school. Like if you know, if you think about it,
a
like,
lot of graduates.
A lot of people go there to learn or like to to teach. And I think Danielle and let's see.
One more.
Honestly, I would say I probably would love to cook with one of my mentors too, Adrian Vela. I think he was one of my best friends. And then I haven't cooked with him in the kitchen in a very long time, but he was kind of the one that got me a little bit more motivated and like more inspired as well. Yeah.
Chef, where can people find you if they want to follow you on social media and if they want to come taste your food?
Yeah, or they can come find me at Meridian. Meridian is located inside the Village, Dallas. My Instagram is Chef Eduardo Osorio, so it's Chef Eduardo, EDUARDO, Osorio, OSORIO. They can find me there, send me a message, DM me. I'll answer, I'll respond. It might take like a day or 2, but I'll respond back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. I'm glad you finally made it out.
I know. Thank you again. I appreciate it.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, that's the show. If you liked it, make sure you leave 5 stars, nothing less than 5 stars. If you want more Chefs PSA, go to chefspsa.com. Get yourself some books, get yourself some merch, including Culinary Leadership Fundamentals and the Line Cook Survival Manual. If you want early access to episodes, you can get them on Spotify and Substack by becoming a paid member. The link is in the notes. We'll see you next week. Hit the porno music.
Yo, it's André in the kitchen, mixing, dropping chef knowledge, no fiction, stirring up the beats, heating up the session. Listen close, class is in session.